Welcome everyone to the Soul Coaching Workshop Series. My name is Michelle Aubin and I am the host of the series. I was inspired to do this as an interactive event with guest presenters each week, and so I'm so glad that you're joining us live, and if you're watching us on the recording, glad to have you here with us as well. My guest this week is Linda Lang, and Linda is multi-talented healer. And one of the amazing things she does, she's going to do this in the workshop today, is to do a living waters healing session. And we will see if there's time for other types of one-on-ones she can do with people that are here live with us. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. And welcome, Linda. So can you just dive in and share a little bit about what this is for people that have not heard about it before?
Well, first of all, Michelle, thank you so much for inviting me on your series. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. So I'm a healer, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, intuitive guide, and one of the things that I do is the living waters healing. As Michelle mentioned before, I use an energy called the diamond ray that was a gift from Spirit. It's something I use often in my healing work as well with people. We are 70% water after all. And I've had some really amazing results with it. About 6 months after working with this energy, I heard this little voice that suggested I remolecularize water. And I kind of stopped dead in my tracks because I didn't know who said it. There was no such word in my vocabulary, and I had no clue how to do it. And then, poof, I knew how to do it. And I do it to my water all the time. I've experimented on foods, on other types of beverages. It will make your coffee or tea absolutely delicious. And it just brings a silkiness, a smoothness. Some people say sweetness. I guess you get whatever you need because it's an intelligent energy. I've actually done an experiment online with people in Australia where I energized a jug and they poured water in everyone's glass from that jug and could tell whose water was whose. So each glass of water tasted different.
Okay, I love that. That's like the beverage company that used to do the taste test in the mall with the the soda pop, and you're doing it instead with. I love that. That's really fun.
It's definitely intelligent quantum energy, and it works on the replay. It works over the phone. It works online. It's totally amazing. So if anyone has any questions at all about it, please pop it into the chat. It's a very loving, peaceful energy. And when I channel it, I feel like the substructures, the energetic substructures being dismantled to whatever issue we're working on or whatever issue is the priority. And it's not always a conscious level priority. Sometimes it's and actually I often don't get the story behind it. Sometimes I do, but I often don't. And that's okay, because from my perspective, sometimes we attach to the story and then the story becomes a story in itself, and we re-energize it with our thoughts and communicating it. And so if that happens for you and you get something really interesting and you share it with people, try not to energize it with something that would hold that story in place. You know, if you could communicate it more like a witness instead of becoming enveloped by that story, you won't re-ingrain it.
This could be a whole other workshop, because this idea of story and reformulating our story is really powerful. And what you're proposing is kind of what, if I hear you correctly, you're saying we could do this bypassing the verbal and do it with the water. And sometimes, when people, I know I've shifted a lot listening to Law of Attraction and a lot of that journey of restructuring my own stories about my life, myself, my identity, and for healing. And sometimes it can feel hard when you're in the middle of it. And what I like this idea of restructuring the water, because we are 70% water and we're on a water planet. And I don't have the details of this, but I was reading about how water can act as a DNA copy machine. And this is science. Like I need to get the references because it's actual science. It's not like just the healer talk. This is something that has come to be understood when they want to replicate DNA and how powerful water can be for transmitting that. So I just want to, I just am plopping that into the conversation because I feel like it's exciting.
It is exciting, and water is a medium we really could work more with because it is intelligent and it's something so natural for us to be in relationship with.
Because we are it.
We are it. We cannot live without it.
Yes. I
So,
want to encourage everyone who's hearing this in the recording or live with us to check out Linda's podcast, because we did an episode way in the beginning about Linda's healing journey, and it's really powerful. And that's how you, Linda, became it and entered the realm of being a healer. Is you started with healing yourself and living in that possibility and learning what you did with yourself as the teacher,
well,
and what that led to for you.
I'm definitely the guinea pig in my world first,
Yes.
always.
Yes. So we don't have time for all of that today, but I just encourage anyone who's interested to go check that out. Um, and it's very inspiring. So, all right, Linda, did you want to say something else?
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like there's any questions. So let's just go ahead with the water healing.
Okay.
And and it's okay if you didn't bring water. It can be coffee, tea, orange juice, whatever you have. Um, Although I will give a cautionary note, I did do a call with someone who had like a soda pop kind of beverage. It was some kind of carbonated, flavored something or other. And she actually broke out in a rash. And she had gone to another healer who pinpointed through kinesiology that the living waters detected in her body a hidden yeast infection, and it was coming through her skin and healing. That is the only reaction I've ever had doing the water healing. And I have no idea if that was because of the beverage, or it probably was what she needed to heal actually
Yeah.
in the moment. So I just put that out for you so you have full awareness. And let's go ahead now and just have a taste of whatever you've brought to be energized.
Okay. So everyone taste it before?
This is kind of your base. So you have a memory of what your beverage tastes like, the texture of it before I energize it. Now, the diamond ray is a very high vibration, very fast, intelligent energy. So it's only going to take me really a few seconds to structure it for you wherever you are in the world whenever you're listening to this call. So we're going to, our topic, I think, was about changing reality. And this is one example I can give you of how you can change reality. If I can change your water wherever you are in the world, imagine what else is possible. Imagine, just imagine. So I'm going to do this water healing to help open us up to the new possibilities that we need, that each individual needs in the moment to help them move forward. on their evolution, on their spiritual path, on their physical path, wherever that kind of stuck spot is. So I'm going to be quiet now and energize your water for you. So just give me a moment. Okay, I take a nice deep breath. I'm going to explain to you what I felt and sensed while I was doing it. It started with quite a bit of head stuff, especially in the beginning, and it was almost like, you know, if you're angry and you squinch your face up, but that's what the energy in the morphogenic field of this group was doing. It was like all squished up and really constricted. And this part of the brain is the conscious thinking mind. So there are some thoughts, beliefs in there that are kind of limiting people. So we've opened that up a little bit. It went down into the eyes, pulled out a little bit of old emotions that were stuck there, went down through the sinuses, went into the top of the roof of the mouth where there was some energetic debris. And that can be either words we've said, emotional words that the energy is still there. It could also be words we didn't say that got stuck there, and they're stuck in the teeth and in the actual cells of the mouth, then down through the throat. And it took a little while to actually break through the barrier to connect to the heart. But at the very end, that's what happened. So please go ahead and have a taste of your beverage and be very aware or looking for any changes. And that energy will continue to work until it's restructured perfectly for you. If you have any comments you want to pop into the chat box, that would be great. I always love to hear of people's water taste. Mine tastes considerably different, not as smooth as it usually does, but it has a totally different taste to it. So it's very interesting. How about you, Michelle?
Well, I have some things I'd like to share, but I want first to open it up to other people if they want to share a comment about your experience with the before and after. You can either unmute yourself or put yourself on video, being aware that this will be publicly available on YouTube if you do that, or put something in the chat that you want to share if you noticed anything. And so I'm just going to give everyone a moment to do that if you wish, and before I dive in with my ideas, because I do like this to be a chance for you to interact with Linda, just as if it was one of her workshops she was giving with her regular clients. This is your chance. Does anyone have anything to share about your experience? Okay, so I see Jen has unmuted herself. So Jen, what would you like to ask or share?
I was going to share a couple things, but before she was finished, my body forced a huge, like a breath that wasn't a conscious breath of mine. It was a huge release. So I don't know if that's what she was feeling. And also I was thinking of the water in Clovis that's been contaminated recently by a leak in one of the gas stations, one of my friends' neighborhoods. And I'm just thinking out loud, but I thought maybe you sent some energy that way too. That would be great. My water, I think, tasted, I felt a tingling in my teeth. I had to take a second sip. It's a tingling in my teeth that I don't normally experience, but it seemed to taste mostly the same, I thought. So not sure about that one.
Well, let it sit for a little bit more. And either way, you've gotten the energy. So no worries at all, Jen. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to notice a difference with coffee or tea because it takes the bitterness right out.
I had a cup of coffee beside me, but I was holding my water. Maybe I'll take a sip of the coffee and see what it tastes like.
Yeah, absolutely. And let us know if, because I did intend it for whatever you brought to the call. And so technically, you did bring the coffee as well.
The coffee does taste wonderful.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing your experience, Jen. Everyone has a different way that this type of shift will show up. And you mentioned a couple of things. You mentioned the teeth. You mentioned this kind of breath. I'm assuming it's sort of like, sometimes when you inhale, that's the image I got, like when you just kind of go, oh. And it's different for everyone. So I really appreciate you being the first to share what your experience was like. Do you have any questions for Linda?
I think I'll wait till she does her end thing. Maybe we'll get a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Who else would like to share their experience with the water? Okay, I see Karen unmuted herself. Karen, what would you like to share?
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Karen.
Hello, Michelle. So I've done this a few times with Linda now, and every time it's a different effect. I didn't really taste a big difference today, but every time is different.
Every time is different because our needs change as well. So yes, Karen is one of my clients, and there's your dog. Yeah.
Her again. Yep, she's still there.
She's jumping in with some ideas.
Thanks for being here,
the
Karen.
dog again.
Thank you. So did everybody that wanted to share have a chance? And you're not required to, but if you, I just want to give you another second. So my experience was that I have for the past couple of months been drinking distilled water, which I know is considered controversial, but my health has been improving. Really subtle things, like some skin issues have cleared up and things like that. And I have treated water from the tap. So I don't know if this was a part of what you were picking up on, but I was thinking of all of that when I was doing the first sips. I was thinking of treated water, distilled water issues, what's left in the distiller when I, clean it out, and what the heck is in there that I used to drink and now I don't. And so I had a lot of thought. I did have a lot of thoughts. I don't know if anyone else, I know Jen mentioned some other thoughts about water. And I think water is such a evocative topic. There's so many things that come up when I just think about it. So, and what I noticed, so it's hard for me to notice a big difference because there's not a lot of flavor in distilled water. And if anything, I noticed a little more perkiness the second time because distilled water really is just wet. There's nothing added to it. So I noticed this, that's the only word I can think of, is like a little perkiness. That makes any sense?
All good, all good. I'm going to do an energy channel to everyone, but before we do that, I'm going to just share a little story about an experience that I've had recently with the Diamond Ray, and it had to do with I was having some issues with a particular person, and I was trying to do Ho'oponopono, the forgiveness exercise, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. There was just so much stuff. So I ended up doing parts integration and integrating the part that didn't want to forgive and that felt justified and the part that did. And then I went and released all these layers of emotion, which is often what I do with clients. And I felt a lot better. But then I heard this little voice of, why don't you channel the diamond ray to yourself? You do it to other people, do it to yourself. So I did that. And I was shown a past life image where I was bound and I was a woman. And I've got goosebumps saying this, and this person who's a woman in this life was a man in that life and took a knife and slit my throat.
Ooh.
And it brought a whole new level of awareness into the relationship and such a deep release of that whole, karmic structure, whether it's my karma, their karma. You just want to clear it because you don't want to have to come back and keep reliving and hoping for different results. But it was just a really, really interesting experience to have a past life healing with this energy. So please be open to whatever shows up for you. Most people, when I channel it, can feel it in their body. Some can see it. Some have images or awarenesses come up. And some people don't have any of that. And if you're one of those people, it doesn't mean that it's not working or it's not doing something for you. It's just beyond your awareness for whatever reason, whether you haven't developed that sensitivity or whether your unconscious mind or your higher self is just, keeping you safe from the story. Don't attach any meaning, I guess I would say, that might not be there, and just allow it to do what it needs to do and be open to receive.
Wonderful.
Okay. So if anyone has any questions, you can really just very quickly pop it in to the chat.
Go ahead, Lynn. Did you have something in mind, or did you want to take? What did you want to do next? Did you have the?
I'm going to do just a really general energy channel to everyone on the call or who's watching the replay.
Okay.
And then if we have time, we can take individual issues from the people that are here and help shift the energy a little bit for them.
Okay, great. So this is general healing for everyone live or listening to the recording.
Right. We are 70% water. And why not have this beautiful, peaceful, smooth, intelligent energy just give us kind of that little soul TLC. Okay. So no comments. So I'd have everyone just go ahead and just close your eyes and be very present in your body. And just really kind of pay attention to what you feel like in your body. Maybe how your breath is, or just however it is for you. Because we want to bring some awareness to hopefully feel the difference. I'm going to start the channel now. Again, it's a very fast energy, so it might just take a minute or two. And I'm going to be quiet as I begin. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Being fully present in the body, go ahead and open your eyes. And just notice the difference. Still being very present. Maybe you feel more space. Maybe you feel calmer, more peaceful. Maybe your breath is deeper.
I noticed during this that my shoulders opened up and dropped. This was much more noticeable for me. My breathing changed and my shoulders just, my like my heart chakra opened up.
Yeah. When I was doing the actual energy channel, there was quite a bit of energy in the throat, particularly the right side of the throat, almost like the right side of the chakra was a little blocked, so the energy couldn't flow fully down into the throat. And it worked quite a bit until finally it moved it, and then the energy went down and poof, opened right up.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit down through the spine as well, in the neck and the back of the head as well. That was the area I felt most significantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Linda, do you feel like you want to start doing individual, I don't know what you want to call it, where you're going to do healings with people, or do you want to take questions about this transmission you just did?
Yeah, well, if there are any questions, let's go ahead with that first, and if not, then we'll open it up to individual callers.
So you can unmute yourself again if you want to share your experience about this energy shift that Linda just shared with us. And if you would like to interact with Linda as far as what are you calling it, Linda? An intuitive healing? What would you like to call it?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, it depends because, first of all, I'm an empath. I'm very energy sensitive. So when you bring an issue to me and I tune in, I mean, it can go into one of the many modalities that I've studied or into an energy healing. So let's maybe call it a little bit of, well, I actually want to say soul retrieval, but I'm going to call it a little bit of guidance and energy healing. If that's what you would like, I'm happy to give you a taste.
Okay, so why don't we also do this, because I will offer a soul card reading to anyone who is here live. That's part of what I do in this series, and this is the soul card deck. I pull one card. So you can choose, if you have a question or an issue, and you don't have to tell us the details, you can choose to work with Linda right now. You can choose to have a soul card reading with me, or both at the same time. So we'll call this, because it's time is clipping along. We'll call this the interactive session part. So you can decide, and I will not be offended if you just say, I just want a moment with Linda, or if you want the card to be sort of an addition to what you do with Linda, that's fine too.
Or just a card, it's all good.
Or just a card.
We're here to serve today.
Yeah, this is going to be like the play section. All of it's been play, but this is going to be like your chance for your particular question. So I see Ingrid has unmuted herself. So Ingrid, what is your question, and which would you like, or would you like all of it?
I would like all of it.
Okay.
Because I'm an experimenter, and hi, Linda. And so I'd love to participate with both of you. And would you like to know my question?
Yes, we don't need a lot of details, but what is the topic you yeah, what's your question about?
Yeah, I have a new project that I'm going to be starting tomorrow, and I'm wondering if there's some sense of how well that's going to work out for me and for my clients.
Okay. So when this actually helps me because I want to make a request if you and I don't know if Linda needs a different type of thing. When you ask a question, a really helpful way to frame it is what do I need to know? Or
Okay,
what qualities do I need to bring
perfect.
this?
Perfect. So what qualities do I need to bring to this new project in order for it to be successful?
Great. And I don't know, Linda, do you need a different type of um, question?
No.
Okay.
I could just jump right in. Do you think it would be different, that the card would be different before or after the healing, Michelle? I'm an experimenter and investigator too, Ingrid.
I will shuffle
Good.
while you do the healing, and then
Okay.
and then I can follow up. Yeah. The reason I say that is because of what isn't helpful is people say, should I do this or should I not do this? Is not a helpful question.
Correct.
The way to say, what do I need to bring to this to make it work, or what am I not seeing that I need to understand more about, or that kind of thing.
Okay, so can I jump in?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ingrid. First of all, it's fantastic that you're here. Thank you for being here.
Thank
And
you.
as you've asked your question or stated your issue, there is so much like nervous energy around the heart chakra and then coming down into the solar plexus that I'd like to kind of clear it. It's not solid. Think of it more like maybe like smoky, and let's just clear that energy out so that you don't have to deal with that kind of congestion. You have more access to your beautiful heart energy. So I'm going to just check and see, is it an emotion that we need to clear? No. Belief. Use the diamond ray. Okay, so you're actually testing on using the diamond ray, or I'm intuiting to use the diamond ray. There are some belief issues in there, and let's just go ahead and do it without digging any further. So I want you to just close your eyes, tune in into your heart space, and bring your project into your heart. And any concerns that you might have, any people that are associated with it. And how you would like to feel. And take a nice deep breath. We're moving it up through the throat now. There's kind of less pressure and weight on the back and through the heart. And we're just pulling it right up through the crown. And taking all that energy and putting it back into the system to be kind of recycled into something more productive. And take another nice deep breath. It's a little bit of pain being pulled out from in the head. Okay, there we go. Now, I have you tune into your energy system or your body and tell me if you can feel the difference.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Michelle.
I hear your tone of voice sounds much calmer, Ingrid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you sound okay. So I pulled two cards just because that was my instinct to do so. And I pulled one before Linda did her energy work, and one just now. And so to me, the answers that this is showing is the question of what do I need to do in this project, to, what do I need to bring to it? And then the after card is telling me about what will be the result of that. Okay, so the first card I pulled is silence. Okay, and the saying on this card is, I am serene no matter what is occurring around me. And so I don't know what the project is, but what this says to me is that what is important for you is to maintain spaciousness in your mind and in your thought patterns. And if you get that churning what if and that sort of anxious cycle of thought patterns, and you start spinning, I don't know if that's what you tend to do or not do, but if this card is telling me to just breathe into your center and find the silence within, no matter what is going on. None of that needs to affect your inner core of peace. Okay?
Beautiful.
So that was the first card.
Yeah.
What will be the result of Linda's energetic shift with you, and of you maintaining this, will be gratitude, sort of attitude of gratitude. And I'll show you that card. This is a joyous woman, sort of in this flowy skirt. This is a glorious time to be alive, and I am so grateful. So this is like sort of saying that will be the natural outcome if you do this, and as a result of Linda's energetic work.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's really amazing.
Does it resonate? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I'm about to embark on a project that is one of the biggest, most influential of a long career, and I'm up for it, absolutely. But there's a piece of me that's kind of, oh my God, what if I'm not? What if I can't? And it really requires me to be absolutely brilliant in being able to navigate choppy waters among a whole series of different stakeholders. So my silence and my ability to stay really connected to my core, to really be, the peaceful, in the middle of all of this is hugely going to be important. I love it.
Yeah, whenever that what if comes up, just remember this. And to me, that's saying that's going to be your rudder that's going to keep you steady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you both so much.
Thank
So
you.
Cool.
That
so
was
cool.
great. Yeah.
Thanks, Ingrid.
Thank you, Linda.
Who else would like to either get a reading or work with Linda, or both? You can unmute yourself. Okay, so I saw that Jen was the first one that I saw that unmuted. So, okay, Jen, what would you like?
I actually would love to have, I'd love a card drawn from you, Michelle, but my ask of Linda is to help me remove blockages. I've been through so much, and I know I'm moving forward at the speed of light, and I've done a lot of internal work, and I just would like some help on removing blockages to discover my abilities.
So that seems like a clear request of Linda. So with me, would you like me to just pause while you work with Linda? Is that your request?
Sure, and maybe for you, if you just want to draw a basic card on any guidance that maybe comes to you for me.
Yeah, we can do that, like a general card.
Yeah.
Nothing, it doesn't have to be specific. Okay.
Okay, Jen, when I tune into you, there's quite a bit of weight in your energy system, quite a bit, right from the upper diaphragm and shoulders all the way down, right through the whole kind of, well, the whole cavity of your energy body. So let's definitely get to moving some of that energy as much as we can in the few moments that we have anyways. So I'm going to I obviously have your permission to work with you. So am I going to pull out, do you have a, okay, I know exactly what we're going to do. So I want you to close your eyes, Jen. And I just want you to tune into all of the frustration that you feel and all of the hopelessness and helplessness, if there are any of that, just being tired and waiting for the breakthrough. My cat's come to play with us here. I want you to tune into the emotion that you're holding. And I want you to ask your unconscious mind to include in that tuning in, to include the root cause of the blockage and all the things that led up to its creation. And you should feel a shift in your energy. It could feel like even more heaviness. It could feel like constriction or limited breath. I want you to let me know when you feel like you've got a good sense. You don't have to know consciously. I want you to have an energetic connection with it so I can go ahead and pull it out. And you have to let me know when you feel like you've got it.
I feel like a huge tense, like a back pain, and I don't normally have back pain, so I'm going to say maybe that's it. And it's kind of from the neck to the mid-body, almost like what you've described, between the shoulders.
Yeah, you've given me goosebumps, and because it's energy has weight, emotions have weight. When you're carrying around, a lot of excess energetic baggage or emotional baggage, it really does weigh you down. So what I'm going to have you do, I'm a little nervous because my cat's decided to lay on my keyboard, and I hope it doesn't disconnect me or anything crazy. But I want you to tune into that feeling. I want you to really keep your focus on it because I'm going to send the energy to pull it out, and it's going to be directed by your attention. So we want to turn up the volume to get as much as we can of that. I want you to give your unconscious mind permission to let it go and permission to have a conscious awareness of its release. And we want to include the root cause, and we also want to include, we want to direct the unconscious mind to keep all the teachings you've learned from all those experiences and emotions, but let that baggage go. So I'm going to go ahead now and send the energy. This is Huna energy I'm working with now. I'm just going to lift the blockage. To help you see the next step or know the next step or be open to discovering the next step. And any unconscious resistance we might have to letting it go. And I want you to just let me know when you feel that shift on the inside.
I actually think I felt quite a bit, but there's probably some left. So maybe a personal session with you.
Well, there's only so much you can do it in a moment or two, but I
Yeah.
can feel difference. The energy's kind of back here now instead of being all through the spine. But I want to go ahead and fill the spaces. Nature abhors a vacuum, so we don't want to leave an empty space where something else can come in, or similar energy can be redeposited there. So I'm just going to use some high vibration energy. I'm just going to fill up all the spaces. Actually, your back is quite a bit better, actually. Quite a bit more fluid energetically. So yeah, take a nice deep breath. Have a drink of your water, and just allow that to percolate. Thank you for sharing the big shift. It also goes to show us that, first of all, energy is real. There's no such thing as time and space to energy, and that we can use our thoughts, our emotions, our energy to affect our reality. Absolutely. So if you have anything you'd like to share, Jen, I'm all ears.
I'm feeling just very like almost, I want to say nothing. I don't think in a bad sense, but yeah, just a complete blankness, which is probably a good feel. It's good feeling. I'm letting it soak in. So thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome, Jen. Thank you for coming today.
What I refer to that state as neutrality, which sometimes is the result of the challenging energies being released.
Well, and imagine if you've let blockages go and you have that empty space or that void area, you now have created the space for something new.
Which is a segue to the card I pulled. So I'll just dive into that and start sharing that with you, Jen, because maybe what you're feeling is peace. This is the card I pulled before Linda did the work, which is really interesting. This sense of feeling that calm, or you didn't use that word, but this feeling nothing, feeling neutral is actually could be a feeling of peace. And the words on the card are, I breathe deeply, knowing that all is well in my universe. And this image is of a woman nestled into the crescent of the moon. And what that says to me is that will be very helpful for you to find a way. You may need to find a physical place to do this. You may need to just carve out time. But to me, this is about nurturing that, cultivating a space for peace in your life. And it's a funny thing, but I what's coming to my mind is that sometimes we need to make time to feel peace. If that makes any sense. We need to make space for ourselves. We need to make time to nurture the healing and the peaceful feeling. This woman is not out and about in the world interacting with other people. She's cultivating her own inner time space sensations. So does that resonate with you, Jen?
It does. I kind of get I am strong and I am no longer the victim. I have my own power. So it feels good. Thank you.
Can I add something, Michelle?
Yes.
What I'd like to say to you, Jen, is that sometimes we want something so much we actually push it away energetically because we're in that place of lack. And if we can step into being at peace where we are and just allowing more joy, more fulfillment, more purpose, more whatever, it's a healthier way of stepping forward. We're not staying in that space of, we're not enough, we're not good enough, or I should be doing something and I'm not doing it. That's what I'd like to see you being at peace. Really.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
And I just want to add, I like what you said, Jen, about this representing being in your power, because it can be an act of power to go within. And that is not often how things are framed in our culture with this, everything is sort of externalized. It is an act of power to cultivate your inner peace. That's the most powerful thing you can do. So the card is not called power, but I like that that's what you resonated with in this. So I just wanted to kind of riff on that. I think that's really amazing. Good luck. So we had one person left in the chat who had unmuted herself before. Do you still have a question you would like to, is that Karen? You just
Hi.
Hi, Karen.
Do we still have time for one more?
We do. Yep, you will be the last person. If Linda is able to stay, I'm able to stay. And now my cat jumped up. Look. He wants to play with the keyboard. Okay. So yeah, Linda, do you have time for one more?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yep, I do too. So Karen, what would you like? Would you like a reading from me, an energy session from Linda, or both?
Both would be great.
Okay.
So it's kind of a vague question. I've been trying to figure out how to phrase it. What I ask is, what do I need to do to get more clarity about my purpose and direction? I'm kind of at a crossroads. Kids have moved out. It's like a new part of my life, and I'm kind of trying to figure out where to go. And there are just so many options that I need to somehow figure out how I can focus on something.
So your question is about how what you need to do to get clarity?
Yes.
Okay. Linda, did you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I don't know. I love it because I don't usually work with what do I need to do. I can tell you how you respond energetically, Karen.
That would be good.
And so I'll go ahead and tell you that there's a real imbalance in your system. It's like the right shoulder is up way higher than the left shoulder energetically. Yeah. So, and physically. And so everything is kind of off kilter. So if I had to answer that question, I would say what you really need is to find that kind of core strength so that everything is, you have to strengthen your core so that everything is in better alignment. Because I could understand, it's almost like the two sides of you are going in different directions at different levels. So we can do an energy channel to kind of straighten that out as best we can in a few moments. And and Michelle can choose a card for you.
I already did, and I'm going to read the card before you do your shifting because it's fascinating. It's sort of like sometimes the card jumps out and it's like the obvious. Okay, there's my cat helping.
Oh,
Okay, so the card that came from the deck was called Focus, and it's exactly what Linda described. It's a star with a beam of light. It could not be more in line with what Linda just said. It cracks me up. The words are, all of my thoughts are directed towards my highest good. Okay, so it's sort of self-evident. Focus, be a beam of light. That's what this card is saying. I pulled another card just to this one. I was like, okay, yeah, that's like an
That's what I'm
obvious.
asking.
I
That's
pulled,
what I'm asking
yeah, that's
for.
what
How
you're
do I
asking
find
for.
that focus?
So I pulled another card, and this card is acceptance, and it's a woman holding her heart. And the words are, I unconditionally accept, cherish, and love myself just as I am. So, what this says to me is that the thing that distracts you, you may have multiple options, and you are maybe driving yourself a little nutty. Hang on with my phone. You're driving yourself a little nutty with your options because maybe you have a should, or maybe you are not honoring the thing you really truly want to do.
Truth.
Or I don't know if that resonates with you, but this idea of this makes it look simple, and maybe you're complicating it with other people's ideas of what you should do, who you should be, or what path you should take. When in essence, if you just focus on what makes your heart sing and what makes you feel good, that's your highest good. Love myself just as I am. So, love, if you follow the thing you really love to do or want to do,
Mm-hmm.
get rid of all the noise. That's what these
Mm-hmm.
cards say to me.
Great, thank you.
Does that resonate?
It does resonate. I'm still a little fuzzy on how to find that thing, though, like how to separate those two. And
I would say the answer is every day. Okay, this is my coaching hat. Every time you have a meal, this is what I tell my coaching clients, because we eat, a couple times a day, so it's a good trigger.
mm-hmm.
Do what this woman is doing. Go into your heart. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? You will have
Mm-hmm.
an answer. What do I, if you need to write it down and see the patterns, if you need to journal, what do I truly want? And check in with yourself, with your heart, not your mind, not your should, not your logic, my heart. What
Okay.
am I denying myself that I want? What am I, that's what this card is saying me. What am I not accepting about myself? You know, okay,
Okay.
so that's my answer.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And the other thing I would add to that, Karen, is that often, like, we're not given our path or our purpose, like the big picture. It's given kind of in steps. So you can take it, small steps. And even when you go in to find your heart, wisdom, I mean, it could be even just for the moment or, for that day. Don't kind of get stuck in that mind thing of having to know the big picture, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of us do. I still don't know my big picture, right? But we just take one step at a time and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to have you tune into that kind of confusion that you're feeling, that kind of misalignment and disjointedness. And I'm going to just see, I'm going to pull out a belief. I'm going to pull out an emotion. We'll do an energy channel. Okay, so we're actually going to do an energy channel for you that's going to pull out some beliefs. Conscious, unconscious, some unconscious beliefs that are kind of keeping you stuck. So just go ahead and close your eyes and really tune into this whole issue and this whole idea of confusion. I want to congratulate you that your kids have moved out and that you are at that kind of new doorway where you get to create something new. just for you. Just to nurture and love and support you. What you're here to share. And let's just drop any preconceived notions of what we think that should be or should look like. Quite a bit of emotion being released as well. And it's mostly sadness. There's a little bit of kind of guilt and shame as well. And letting that go is kind of opening up a little bit more space in the occipital, where we hold a lot of patterns and old beliefs. Shoulders feel better. One's a little bit more forward than the other. So I'll just see if I can get that to move as well. And just quite a bit of weight off of the spine. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath. And just kind of tune in to see how you're feeling on the inside. If there's any more space, a little bit more alignment.
The right shoulder is a lot looser than it was.
Yeah. And it feels like it's you've been holding on. It feels like this energy has been you've been clenching, holding it in place. So I would definitely recommend a little bit of how can you on your own put a little bit of space in there. You can through your breath by deeply breathing. I'm not sure that's going to move it entirely for you, but it's a start for sure. It's a start for sure, and definitely, move your body, stretch your joints and allow. We store so much emotion in our joints, so just that little bit of kind of stretching and moving can help loosen things up. If you're feeling stuff, like emotions, I would feel them so they don't get deposited back. Try and be present with them. And usually when we can actually feel an emotion fully, it dissipates pretty quickly. Without thinking about it, we start thinking about the emotion, and then we actually stop the body's ability to process emotion in the moment. So though that would be the advice I would give you, and definitely give me a call if you need some help getting unstuck.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good luck. All right. Yeah. So yes, some people are sharing in the chat their thanks and blessings. Yes, everyone, thank you for joining us. This was, I'm going to use the word it was very meaty. And thank you, Linda, for being so generous in engaging with everyone on such a deep level with such a short amount of time. We got a lot done here. So I encourage anyone who wants to reach out to Linda, go ahead if you have more questions. So Linda, any final thoughts?
Well, I would definitely invite everyone to come and check out the podcast, Exploring the Mystical Side of Life. You find it on iTunes, YouTube, and we have a Facebook page as well. I'm offering the free gift of a spirit prayer, which I'll just talk very briefly about. It is a meditation, but it's also an energetic alignment process.
Okay.
I've created it with the help of spirit and energized the words. So there's, quite a bit of alignment. Actually, that might help you as well, Karen. I think it's the happiness and fulfillment spirit prayer that I'm giving away. So I would encourage you all to pick that up and come and visit me at Thought Change. Be open to magic and miracles and new possibilities.
And so everyone who has signed up for the Soul Coaching Workshop series, you will already automatically get a link to Linda's gift as well as to the replay of this, so you can watch it if you want to watch it as many times as you want. And so you don't need to do anything. If you're watching the recording of this and you want to get Linda's gift, sign up on the link that will be below this video, and you will get not only Linda's free gift, but every other presenter for this series who has contributed a gift. You'll get the replays and you'll get all of their gifts. So I want this to be a very expansive, abundant series for everyone. So that's everyone who's contributing, just like you, Linda. I appreciate all of you for showing up live. You're all a part of the energy, and watching the replay, you're a part of the energy too. So I thank you, Linda. Thank you, everyone. And we're signing off for now. See you next time.